The next few days in the developer lab had a different kind of energy. Sub kept smirking whenever I walked by, muttering things like, "Hope you're practicing table manners, Romeo." Glyph wasn't much better. He leaned into his role as hype man, dropping date counter jokes like we were counting down to launch day. Jen, of course, only cared about my progress reports, but even he cracked a smile once when Sub asked if he was going to finance the dinner. But it was Dev who had me second-guessing myself. She worked like normal, fast fingers on the keyboard, focused on fixing bugs or tracking data. But every time my eyes caught hers, even just for a second, her face went red. Not a subtle flush, not something that could be brushed off as lab lighting. Red. Finally, during one lull, I leaned over and said quietly, maybe we should lean into it. Make it fun. Less awkward until Friday comes. Her eyes narrowed. Lean into what? You turning red every time you look at me, I teased. She nearly choked on her coffee, muttering something about idiot testers, but she didn't deny it, which only made Glyph snort from across the lab like he'd overheard everything. Sub strolled past my desk with a grin like a fox. "So, tester boy, you got a place picked out? Or are you gonna make her eat vending machine ramen in the break room?" I opened my mouth, but Dev beat me to it. Without looking up from her screen, she said, "It doesn't matter where he takes me. You're still footing the bill." Sub froze, sputtered, then retreated while Glyph howled with laughter. I shot Dev a look. She smirked, not even pretending to hide it. Glyph caught us both by the coffee maker. He leaned against the counter like some kind of dating show host. So, what were we thinking? Italian? Sushi? Or should I just book you to a table at that new steakhouse and get it over with? I raised an eyebrow at Dev. Sushi sounds good, actually. She rolled her eyes, but her lips twitched like she was fighting a smile. He's not deciding the menu. I leaned closer and whispered, just loud enough for Glyph to hear. Wait, we already talked about this. We agreed sushi's the way to go. Her cheeks went crimson instantly. Don't say that in front of him. He doesn't need to know our business. Glyph nearly dropped his coffee. The HUD pulsed alive. My inventory was full of crimson and ivory weapons, but the real discovery was in the crafting section. Crafting menu unlocked. Repair armor. I finally had a way to restore armor integrity, as long as I had enough materials scavenged from fallen enemies. Projectile fabrication. My futuristic suit's built-in system let me craft more of the rapid-fire projectiles I'd run out of. Projectile level up locked. The system prompted me. Requires additional stat points to upgrade. I frowned. No points left. I dumped everything into reaching level 16. That meant only one thing. I'd have to replay Chapter 1 if I wanted to farm fresh stat points and really push my gear higher. As the gorge reloaded and the familiar opening enemies spawned in, I flexed my new arsenal. Ivory, crimson, crafting, repair. For the first time, I felt like I wasn't surviving, I was building. Still, the thought nagged me as I cut down the first wave with ease. When Friday came, would Dev see this as just another game system I'd gamed, or something real I'd earned? Jen was giving a progress rundown when he ended the meeting with, and since Friday is apparently a company event now, I expect everyone to finish their reports by Thursday. Dev groaned. I just leaned back in my chair, folding my arms. Company event, huh? Should I expense it to the company then? Her hand slapped my shoulder, hard enough to sting through my hoodie. Don't push your luck. But her smile lingered. Sub had taped a sign to the fridge that said, "Date night countdown, one day." Dev ripped it down and chased him around the lab with it, both of them laughing like kids. When she returned to her desk, cheeks flushed, I murmured, "You're really leaning into this now." She gave me a sidelong glance. Shut up. But the corners of her mouth wouldn't stay straight. And bring me something nice tomorrow. The lab felt lighter that morning, buzzing with tension and humor. The something nice was a bouquet of flowers. Sub kept humming wedding bells under his breath. Glyph kept placing bets with himself over how awkward dinner would be. Dev, though, was calmer than I expected. Focused. Collected. But every time someone joked about the big night, her cheeks betrayed her. I caught her eye across the room and mouthed, "Tonight." She rolled her eyes, but this time she didn't turn away. I slipped back into the game with a goal. Figure out what all this leveling up actually did. The gorge opened before me again, familiar stone walls rising high, bamboo spilling down the edges. It was the same old 12 ninjas, one samurai scenario. It changed to free play when you went back. Maybe they should add more enemies if you returned. 12 ninjas fanned out in the clearing, blades glinting, shadows shifting. Behind them, the lone samurai in dark steel armor waited, silent and unmoving. The first time I came here, I was clumsy, cautious, breathing hard after every clash. Now I was a storm. 3 ninjas drew modern crossbows, loosing bolts into the air. This time, instead of letting them ping uselessly off my armor, I tapped the crafting HUD mid-roll and repaired my plating, integrity climbing from 94% to 100%. Nice try. I blurred forward. A flick of the ivory moon blade sent one arrow spinning back, slicing a ninja's bowstring in half. Before the other 2 could reload, I was already airborne, tanto in reverse grip. Double slash across their chests. They dropped in tandem, dust blooming. 4 rushed me with katanas and kusarigamas, chains whistling in the air. I dropped the katana, switched to the crimson yari, and spun the spear in a wide arc. The weight of the weapon was heavier than my standard blade, but the plus 30% stat boost made it feel like an extension of my arm. Steel met chain clang, and I twisted, coiling the kusarigama's length around a yari shaft. With a snap of my wrists, I yanked the ninja off his feet, spearing him midair before pivoting into a roundhouse that sent the next one crashing into the gorge wall. The other 2 tried to flank me. I let them. As they closed in, I palmed the crimson tanto, using modern Krav Maga technique, step inside the swing, slice across the tendon, and slam an elbow to the temple. The tanto's edge glowed red as the ninja crumpled. The last one hesitated. Mistake. One spinning hook kick later, his helmet clanged against stone, body following in a heap. 2 ninjas with black powder bombs rushed in, fuses sparking. Last time I panicked. This time I smirked. I darted between them, caught one bomb mid-arc, and redirected it. The explosion swallowed the bomber who threw it, flames spiraling skyward. The second lunge, desperate. Too slow. I slammed him into the dirt with a judo throw, pinned the bomb to his chest, and vaulted away just as fire lit the gorge again. 3 muskets cracked. Smoke thundered. I let instinct take over, modern Wing Chun deflections meeting ancient battlefield chaos. Sliding into cover behind a jagged rock, I let them reload. Too slow for me now. My crimson katana flashed from its sheath, glowing crimson in the dim light. I dashed low, weaving through their stagger volley, the blade carving through barrels and cutting powder horns. One musket discharged point blank, but the armor soaked it. I pivoted, disarmed the gunman, and brought the katana down in a clean diagonal slash that split the weapon and the fight wide open.